Inspiration sparks and raises our vibration, encouraging all of us to live our best lives. It is now my pleasure to welcome our speaker for this evening, Elaine Hager. Elaine will be serving Spirit and us with an inspirational reading and address this evening. Elaine is a graduate of the University of Metaphysical Sciences, where she earned a Master's of Divinity degree and a PhD in metaphysics. She currently serves as a trustee on the SCoA board. She is an ordained minister, a spiritual healer, and medium. She teaches spiritual philosophy and theology throughout the United States. Her life mission is to help others progress and help others who seek spiritual progress. A warm Harmony Harbor welcome to Elaine.
A universal and infinite intelligence governs everything, holds everything in its place, and directs the course of everything. The intelligence that governs the planets in their courses is the same intelligence that is manifesting in the mind of humankind. The personal use we make of it to direct and govern our activities depends upon our personal choice. There's always a power operating through us, a presence inspiring, guiding, and sustaining us. We need to put reliance on this power, in this presence, and feel ourselves to be an outlet of immeasurable good. Because we are in this divine presence, and because it is in us, and because it has all the power, we know that our thoughts are made manifest, perfectly demonstrating harmonious relationships and successful action in all our affairs. There is one spirit incarnated in everyone, an immortal presence causing everyone to live. What a difference it would make in our human relationships if we tried to sense the full meaning of the divine incarnation in all people and adjusted our viewpoint to the truth that we are all bound together in the unity of God. While it may seem to be otherwise, it is still true that behind all this vast array of life, there can be but one common cause. One universal mind, one infinite spirit flowing into, through, and becoming everything. And this part I paraphrased. As your thoughts turn to the quietude of your innermost self, you become conscious of the perfect peace, love, and strength of the universal energy some call God. So today, the information that I've chosen to speak to you about is called Harvesting Seeds of Truth. The life source supplies all the information necessary to live a harmonious life of joy and contentment. There are signs all around that point to ways to achieve your desirable aspects of life. Not all of us want the same things from life. Some enjoy adventure and thrive on high-octane lifestyles, full of surprises, while others prefer to take things slow and they feel in balance when life is routine and methodical. Some love to travel, others prefer to stay home. The first step in learning how to read the signs is to identify what it is that you want from life. Have you ever taken the time to identify those aspects of life that resonate with you beyond the generalized thinking of things like, I want happiness and love? If you could have a direct conversation with life, I believe the first question life would ask of you would be, What do you want? If the question would be answered with, I want happiness and love, I think life might be confused with that answer because those things already exist naturally. So maybe a better way to approach life might be to ask, how do I position myself or align myself with you to make the most out of what you have to offer? You see, because life is reciprocal. The closer one aligns with the nature of life, the greater the harvest of life's abundance. Happiness, love, joy, peace, and whatever other words exemplify your desires are byproducts of how well one is able to align with the nature of life. So here's an example of a life sign. When a car is out of alignment, steering is more difficult because the wheels pull either left or right. In other words, the car drifts or pulls off center. When the tires are out of balance, the steering wheel feels shaky. Likewise, when there's a lack of alignment with life, there's a sense of being off center. When one is out of balance, one might feel life is pretty unpredictable or shaky. Life is animated energy. This energy is known by many names: life source, God, divine creator, and so many more. The way one chooses to interact with this energy determines the way life shows up for the individual. I believe that life is predictable and orderly through what some may call natural law. The laws of nature operate simultaneously in various parallel dimensions. They operate biologically, spiritually, and emotionally, just to name three. I'm not convinced that all the dimensions are known yet. But here's an example of a bit of what is known. The power of the energy called electricity is non-discriminatory. It doesn't care who or what flips the switch to enable its presence. It operates the same way for everyone. Electricity was not invented, it was discovered. And some of its energy has been harnessed and directed to produce favorable results, such as providing light during nighttime. However, not all life benefits from this light. For instance, during nesting season, sea turtles are confused by it, and owls, due to their amazing night vision, don't need it at all. From a biological perspective, humans are but one of many life forms. There was a time when humans didn't exist on the very earth that we occupy today. Mammals were the last species to evolve, and we Homo sapiens are the latest comers to the mammal population. Plants, along with countless other species, existed long before humans. Environmentally, life on Earth had to evolve to the point where human life was able to be sustained and was compatible with other species. There's a predictable, logical flow to life. Some of you may have heard phrases such as, we are all connected, or we are all one with the universe. These phrases may be interpreted very differently. Earlier, I spoke about the laws of nature operating on different parallel dimensions simultaneously. You may interpret these phrases, and others like them, from one perspective, while another person might understand them very differently from the way that you understand them. While interpretations can and do vary, the nature of the statements does not. The nature of life is the one great self-perpetuating constant in life. It operates with a perfect logical flow that is predictable through its own demonstration. Living in harmonious accordance with this flow translates to an ability to interpret the signs it demonstrates. So what does all this mean in the context of interpreting the signs that provide guidance to living the life that you desire? When a tomato seed is planted, the only thing that will grow is a tomato. Peach pits produce peach trees. And as thoughts are sown, life produces the seeds of thoughts that were mentally planted. The fuel behind it, the intention, is the fuel of thought. This is a universal truth that manifests continuously and is a constant law of nature. As you think, so your life manifests, basically as a byproduct of your thinking. Your life is a manifestation. It is the end result of what was first created by intentional thought. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that you personally created all the circumstances in your life that are negative. Remember that I said, in all probability, there are parallel, multidimensional aspects of life that have yet to be discovered. What I am saying is that life has a predictability factor that is logical and that has nothing to do with your perception of it. Here's a logic of life. Negative thoughts do not produce positive results. If you want to harvest green beans, don't plant cauliflower. A life of peace and harmony is possible both on a personal level and a collective level. Spiritual Centers of America is one example of several people collectively and deliberately setting the intention of bringing humanity to a state of collective awareness that portrays a higher standard of human consciousness. This organization was intentional. It didn't happen by accident. This is only one group of many that have recently come forward with the very same intention. And because you have intentionally chosen to be here, you're part of this movement. You're pioneering the future for lives that haven't even set foot upon the fertile soils of the earth. Some of you may question why you're here on earth at this time. Perhaps you might ask, what is my purpose? You're here at this time because you have the potential to learn to make this world better. The first step is that you recognize your own value and worth. There's only one you. You are unique, one of a kind. There will never be a reincarnation of the you that you are today. That's another universal truth that can be recognized through nature. When seeds of the same species are planted, rows and rows of tomatoes, for instance, the end result produces plants that look very similar. But upon close observation, there are differences. Even cloning can't replicate identically. So the you of who you are, Susie Smith, John Doe, whoever, is a one-time occurrence. Your purpose is a layered affair. You're here to learn. It's often been said that the earth plane is the most elementary plane of existence, the kindergarten of life, if you will. If you happen to be one who believes in reincarnation, then you might also believe that a return to earth is an opportunity to finish some unfinished business from a previous life. A return could also provide a way for your soul to fast track to further development. It's been said that life on the earth plane is the easiest way to learn because the physical world provides tools in order to understand concepts. Because everything around us and everything about us, even though it feels very physical, has to do with the concept behind the appearance of what it is. And that's what natural law is all about, is understanding the concepts behind what's physically apparent. Think about it this way. When a teacher is trying to explain the concept of addition and subtraction, the teacher can hold an object in one hand and an additional object in the other hand. By using the tools of physical objects, for instance, an apple, it's easy to understand that one and one make two. One apple and one apple make two apples. And then likewise, if the teacher takes one of those apples and puts it behind his or her back, the concept of subtraction is demonstrated. The earth is full of different objects to learn from. This is more advantageous than trying to learn concepts from the etheric world where we don't have the benefit of physical objects as we know them today. That's why this is referred to as the kindergarten of life. So another purpose for your being here is to learn to use what you have learned from life in a wise manner. Life simply is. Energetically, its charge is neutral. You have the capacity to use this energy in many positive ways. The manner that you choose to express yourself is of your own choosing. You have an unlimited number of options, and you have free will. Our life source doesn't dictate your path. The life you lead may be swayed by circumstances, but the circumstances don't interfere with your opportunity to purposely live in accord with the wisdom you have gained. That's a choice that is made, not a directive from life. The very nature of life exists in a perpetual state of neutrality. So we're constantly co-creating with life. based on our free will, the opportunities that present themselves, our desires, and our intentions. Now, having said all this, there's a foundational element that must be present for any seed to produce, regardless of its type. And that element is the soil, the foundation for all that is planted. The soil doesn't care whether a banana or a grapefruit is planted. If the soil is nourished with the proper amount of water, light, and fertilizer, it'll produce a harvest. You are the decision maker of what is planted. Our life source is the soil, and each of us is responsible for caring for it in ways for it to be able to produce what is desirable. The ways that we care for it are through constructive thinking. A fertile, healthy, positive mind is productive. Light is meant to be shone upon areas where there is none. Water is also an imperative element. It's the demonstrable flow of goodness that seeks out the shadowed valleys, and then as light is introduced, the water is able to become a finer form of itself. Water turns to vapor that ascends without limitation. Life simply is, and at any given moment, you're moving closer or further away from your personal ascendance. You can choose to live in the flow of life and become a word that was coined, a flow master of your own destiny. Living in the flow doesn't mean that you won't ever have challenges. Challenges are learning opportunities to gain wisdom. They don't necessarily feel good, but you learn from them. So my prayer for you is that you will be proactive with your life. Live consciously and nurture the fertile soil within you. Continue to plant the thought seeds of faith and hope and goodwill that by natural design will produce a demonstrable, grand, abundant harvest of joy and love and compassion that can be seen, felt, and shared with all. And so it is. God bless you. And thank you for allowing me to serve.